I made a video the other day about our root cellar, and in that video I mentioned the tree seeds that we're storing in crates. Well, I need to go through them to check to see what the health of those seeds are, and I thought I would take folks along. So this will be an in-depth video talking about how we store tree seeds for our nursery. That's for nut trees like chestnuts, hazels, and the like, pawpaws, persimmons, and a whole wide spectrum. I'm going to go through them, check to see how they're doing, make adjustments, and share some notes about how we've been doing it over the years. Hopefully it's helpful. So the first crate I want to work with is one of our chestnut crates. You can see we've got these folding crates. If you were interested in storing seeds and you didn't have something like this, you could certainly use 5-gallon buckets with holes drilled in the bottom and lids with holes drilled in them. And I like these folding crates because they close up pretty nicely. And you can see what's going on here. We've got these chestnuts. These are from, we call them Trumansburg Super. It's from some trees not too far from where the main nursery is. And there are hundreds and hundreds of seeds in here. They went directly into this crate in the fall when they were at peak ripeness. We didn't dry them down. And we mixed them with moist sawdust. Now, what I'm seeing here, and this is worth noting, is there's a fair bit of mold starting to form on the sawdust. Now, if you're storing seeds, one thing I'd really want to show people or help you avoid, if you get mold, don't throw the seeds out. They're still completely viable. In fact, mold seems to be more than anything just about needing to get a little air mixed in. So what I'm going to do when I see mold in one of these crates is simply go through and give it a stir. I'm not getting crazy with it. I'm not shaking it violently. I'm just giving it a stir. And so that's going to help quite a bit. Now I could add a little bit of fresh water onto this if needed, but the mold itself is telling me that the moisture is there, and this feels cool and moist. So a little bit of mold around it, no big deal. But I am seeing, for example, some, a very small number, are starting to sprout. And so we'll want to start keeping an eye out. Now that we're in mid-January, we're going to want to look at these every few weeks to see if more and more are sprouting. It's still way too early to do anything with them planting-wise, so we'll want to break the sprout off and actually cook these and eat these. And just keep an eye. If more and more start to sprout, we'll have to figure out what the next steps are. But 1 or 2 out of hundreds is just fine. A little bit of mold, no concerns. So I'll get them all smoothed out again and close it back up. And that can go back in the root cellar for another few weeks to be checked again later. In no particular order, although I'll just say it's the next one in line, was Pawpaw. And so here we've got it written on the top. Sasha also made a tag on the side so we can see it either way. And so similar picture to the chestnut. Fair bit of mold in one corner. Again, really strong encouragement. If you're saving seed and you see mold, don't stress out about it. If you really don't like the idea of the mold, go ahead and pick it out. You can compost it, but I can promise you if you simply integrate it in, get some air and some freshness going on, it should be fine. Now here, what I'm seeing, and maybe you're seeing it as well, it's really darn moist. Almost a little excessively moist. And so what I'm gonna do is stir it all together, and I'm going to add a little bit of fresh sawdust. In fact, I hear a little bit of muck. These seeds were relatively well cleaned in the fall, but not super thoroughly. There's a little bit of fruit that remained. That's a little bit goobery. That might be a little bit much. They could rot if I don't address that. So I'm gonna grab some sawdust and mix that in. Now in this case, what I'm gonna be using is a blend that we made a ways back that I think is pretty near ideal, but you don't have to do this. You can work with different things, and I'll suggest them. But in this handful, what we have is some fine sawdust. There's also some biochar that's been crushed. It's just basically uninoculated charcoal at this point, so it's very nutrient hungry. And a little bit of soil from the garden, a little bit of soil life and fungal networks and all of that. So it's a rich medley. It's not just a pure sterile sawdust, but if that's what you have access to, that'll be just fine. But if you can make a little bit of charcoal if you're seeing excess mold or you're seeing a little bit of gooey, rotten fruit, that kind of thing, the charcoal can be pretty helpful there. And so I'm just integrating a little bit of this finer sawdust, soil, and charcoal, stirring it all together, and knowing that pawpaws stay asleep for quite a long time, I think I can safely put this away at the very bottom of the stack in the root cellar and not have to return to these for another few months. These certainly are not going to sprout anytime before May. Okay, we're on to American persimmon. I think we've got a few crates of these as well. Ooh la la. There's a moonscape. We're on a different planet in here. Crazy amount of mold. This is one of the really good reasons why you need to look at how you're storing your seeds. And again, am I going to stress out about this? Truly not. The reason why I'm seeing as much mold as I am, you can see where the mold is strongest, there's still a fair bit of fruit pulp around these. We don't go crazy with fruit in cleaning all of the fruit pulp off. If we can, we do. If it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. You know, again, you can pick it off, but rather than stressing out about it, I'm going to simply break it up. And you can see just how many seeds. The seeds themselves look very healthy to me. They have good color. They haven't dried out at all. I'm not seeing them getting any pocks or softness from being in that mold, but I could see that mold getting a bit overabundant if we don't interfere. Now here's the solution to our mold problem and excess pulp, is because in the fall we do not sterilize our soil mixes. We don't get crazy with that. We add in soil along with sawdust, along with some charcoal if we can. The earthworms, the red wigglers, in this storage over winter in the root cellar will slowly and steadily enjoy the pulp. And so long as we facilitate that for them, we give a little bit of bulking material, we loosen and aerate, they should be able to continue to enjoy a winter of eating old rotten persimmon fruit, cleaning them all up, and basically leaving us with worm castings in the spring. Because of the amount of mold, I'm going to give a really good liberal handful of sawdust and charcoal, fold it all together, and we'll make a note, the persimmons with all of this fruit, maybe we want to clean them a little more in the future, or just simply make sure that the soil we pack them in is a little bit more alive and has a little bit more worm population. And that should do it. Really not a big deal. The ideal scenario with storing all these is basically refrigerator-ish context. Our root cellar does a great job of storing these seeds for us, but if you don't have a root cellar and you don't have these sorts of crates, again, it could be buckets with holes drilled in the bottom and in the lids, and these could be buried a little bit in soil outside with a deep layer of leaves or wood chips or something else on top to insulate them. And worm, that was a little rough of me. I'm sorry about that. We'll gently put you back in. But very importantly, I'm not seeing these getting super dry. That's one real key thing. If we started to have, especially pawpaw seed and persimmon seed to some extent, if they dry down a lot, they can lose their viability really easily. So on that front, I'm really happy. We're going to take a look at another set of nuts here. This is hazelnut, and I'm just basically seeing the same picture across the board where I'm glad we're looking at these and I'm not too stressed out about what I'm seeing. When you see little soil life in there, they're pretty much all welcome. Little pill bugs and friends like that, they're just doing their thing. Now, this I can feel, let's see, what am I feeling? A little bit dry on the top there. But overall, these seeds feel like they're in really good shape. With nuts, it feels like in general they're a little bit more tolerant of drying a bit as compared to certain fruit seeds. But you don't really, any seeds that call for cold, moist stratification, you need to make sure you never really see them get completely dry. And cold is basically right around but slightly above freezing. Now here's something that I'm seeing. Very, very subtle, but that's a hazelnut that's just waking up. So I'll open that up so you can see the fact that the shell cracked or started to split. I've only seen one in here doing that, but hazels can be a little tricky. Sometimes they'll wake up really early. So for example, if we didn't keep this cool enough, I could expect most of these seeds sprouting by March, which is then a very tough situation because a lot of times the ground is not thawed out. We're not ready to transplant them outside. So that's the balance here. If you were to store seeds in a warmer, let's say in a true refrigerator, like 38 degrees Fahrenheit, a lot of these seeds can wake up too early for you, and it's a stressful moment in order to go through and try to plant them all out. So keep an eye out for sprouting ones. If you see more and more happening, then really you're not storing the seeds cool enough, and you may consider in future years actually burying them outside. If you can't keep indoor conditions cool enough for them to be sleepy until around last frost or around April or May for our area, then they need to be stored cooler. But you don't want them to be freezing solid if that's possible. Now you can see we've got a lot more crates to go through, but I don't think you need to be watching us go through every last crate. There's a bunch of duplicates, many chestnuts, a couple more pawpaws and persimmons, but the same pattern applies throughout. From late December onward, if you're storing seeds to grow out in the spring, start making a plan to check them every few weeks. If you see issues, check them more frequently. If things look good and everything's dormant, perhaps once a month is all you need. I think if there's one key takeaway I'd like to convey in this video is that it's not that big a deal to collect and store tree seeds. We've been fumbling along and experimenting year after year. We lose some to freezing or from drying or from rot. That's inevitable, but give it a shot. It's not that big a deal. Folding crates are great. Buckets are fine. You can make outdoor mesh baskets that hold the seeds and protect them from rodents, whatever you feel you need to do. But the value in collecting seeds, keeping an eye on them, taking care of them through the winter and planting them out is pretty immense. I would venture a guess that in this dingy little weird root cellar we've built, these containers hold the potential for probably hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of acres of dense, resilient food forest trees that can produce upwards of millions of pounds of food for generations to come. Collecting seeds is something all mammals are capable of doing and asked to do by the trees, so hopefully you get into it. Thanks for watching.